Welcome to the Grueling Truth Radio Network. As always, this is the UC Bearcats on the Prowl. I'm your host, James Ernest, and of course my co-host, Mark Fightmaster. Mark, who's our guest tonight?
Well, tonight we got former UC football player Anthony Hoke, and he was on the Bearcats until 2006. So, Anthony, I always like to start the interviews off with you catching us up on where you are now. If you wouldn't mind telling the audience where you are, what you're doing.
Good evening. Well, right now I'm actually a probation officer for Warren County Common Police Court. That's what I'm doing now. Not too bad. A little change of scenery, but I like it. I can't complain too much.
Very good, very good. And after you played at UC, did you spent some time in the Arena League, am I correct?
Yep. Played in the Arena, did a little time in Canada, yep.
Okay, very good. And who'd you play for?
Well, in the CFL or the Arena League? CFL, at first I went over there and I played a little bit for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And, or the Hamilton Ticats, I'm sorry. And then, after that I came back and played a little bit more Arena, that's when I did my little stint in Cleveland, and then after that I went to the BC Lions for a little bit, and then I played over there, and then I came back and did a little bit more Arena.
Very cool.
So the Lions were in 2012, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, because I see on your time sheet it showed Cleveland. 2010, 2011, and then, of course, 2012, it didn't have a team for the AFL, and then Chicago, the Rush, and then Pittsburgh to end things. So, it looked like you had some very effective years up there at Cleveland. 7.5 sacks a year. I mean, that's nice numbers.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We had a nice team, man. We did it all together. I had some good teammates up there. We did a good job. Like I said, that was just a collective effort by everyone up there. Those were some fun times, man.
Definitely. It's because you had Dominic Goodman, which is sometimes our co-host, and then you had CJ Cobb, who has been a guest on the show this season.
Yeah.
So, you had several Bearcats, it sounds like, up there doing good.
Yep.
So let's go back to the probation officer thing. Unfortunately, I jump around too much. But with your criminal justice background, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, our other guest tonight is going to be Marvin Gentry, who played basketball there a little bit after you did. And he's also got a criminal justice background. So I'll have to check with him and see what he's been up to law enforcement-wise. But I can imagine when a criminal sees you coming, they're a little intimidated.
I wouldn't say that.
They probably don't put up too much of a fight. Do you have any, stories that you can tell on the air?
I've been blessed enough and fortunate enough to know I haven't encountered any of those instances where I would have to use some type of force or anything like that. But I'm gonna keep that going for right now.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, so no episodes of Dog the Bounty Hunter. I went out and I've had to do some things like sort of job wise, but I don't even want to say Dog the Bounty Hunter. Sounds good. So your time at UC, when you were there, you were under Coach D'Antonio. Originally, you all started out in Conference USA, and then you switched over to the Big East. What was that like? What was the transition?
It wasn't too bad. I had only spent 1 year in Conference USA. I kind of knew that the change was coming. That was part of the, the little spiel when I was getting recruited by D'Antonio or whatnot. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was some players before me that obviously were there with Menor and Conference USA that really experienced the change between Menor and D'Antonio. But I came in with D'Antonio, so I mean, just from playing from Conference USA to the Big East, I would just say as far as just maybe I don't want to say talent-wise because we're all Division I athletes, but you kind of the bigger schools, I would say, in the Big East that we were able to compete with back then. It was pretty nice.
So a little bit of difference in the competition level. Makes sense. That way, that's probably why the first year y'all went from 7-5 down to 4-7, but then you bounced back right away, 8-5 season. So, and you had 2 nice bowl seasons there.
Right. Yeah, we had that drop that second year when we went to the Big East because the first year was Conference USA in 2004, and then the next year, 2005, with the 4-7 record, and we had lost, I think, 20-something seniors the year before. We may have had like two or three seniors starting. I think one of them might have been Selick at the time.
Okay.
He was one of the starters, I believe. And the rest might have been freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, that does make it rough. So out of the bowl games, which one was more fun? The one against Marshall or the one against Western Michigan?
I liked the one against Marshall. That was too bad. It was cold down there. It was too bad, but that was a special group of guys that year. I'm friends with a lot of those guys still to this day that played on that team. So I just remember those times. That was my freshman year, not really knowing what it was about, and then just seeing going on there with them that year. And, a lot of those guys showed me because I was able to play as a freshman, and I hung a lot with the older crowd per se. So it was just nice getting those guys at that time. But I would say the best one was actually against Southern Miss, I believe, and the Papa John's Bowl. That's when I broke the record, the sack record.
Oh, nice.
All right. I think that's where we played Southern Mississippi. I think that's in the Papa John's Bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then with being a local guy, I mean, that must have been nice being able to play at UC and probably had a lot of fan support from your high school and all.
Yeah, a little bit. My high school was a little bit of ways away from Cincinnati, but I mean, it was nice to still be able to play in Ohio. Family wasn't too far away,
Right. Oh, Mark, any questions?
Yeah. I think I'll start off with this one. All right, 2014. I was looking through some stuff on the internet. You were awarded the catch of the week in the Arena League for an interception you had when you were playing for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
And how cool was it to win that? I mean, you didn't get to catch a lot of passes in college, right?
No. I thought I always had a good pair of hands. High school I was a tight end and whatnot, but that was just in the Arena League it's just different, guys can play both ways, and we're the defensive lineman, you're kind of taught what the offense is taught anyway, and they're taught what you're taught because we practice together from the start of practice to the end of practice, so we know what each other's going on. So you just get used to those plays, and just from studying film, I just knew it was going to be like a little bubble pass, and I knew what it was going to be from the beginning, and I cheated, and I went that way, and it just so happened that he threw the ball that way, and I just got it.
Nice. How much lobbying did you do to be a receiver on the other side of the ball after that?
I mean, not too much. I know I did a little bit of tight end, and play a little bit of offense in Cleveland every once in a while. I had some plays there. But I tried. I always like try to play fullback. They knew I could play offense. Because I always believe the more you know, the better you are. Especially because that just makes you more valuable.
Yeah, I just remember seeing that, and that was pretty cool. Thing, who was the toughest player that you played against? College, pros, anybody you remember being the toughest?
I would say he was a pretty good guy. I would give it to him. I don't really like to. But I would say Alex Boone, man. He was a pretty good one, man. He went to Lakewood St. Edwards, and we played several times in high school. And I just remember he was a big guy coming up, and we played he went to Ohio State, and we played a couple times there. And I believe he still may be in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had a little bit of time with San Francisco. He was just a big guy. He was pretty tough, man.
Okay. Do you have, and there's a lot of times football players will talk about like a welcome to the pros kind of moment, like getting crushed by somebody or something like that. You have any of those?
Well, it was one time. I was with the Bengals or whatnot, and I was playing middle linebacker. That's what the position I was playing there, and I remember I had to cover Rudy Johnson on the flat, and I covered him on the flat, and Carson Palmer throwing the ball. So I go, we just had like helmets on. That's it. So I go down to tap him, like I made a tackle. He just gives me a big forearm in the throat. And I just remember I couldn't breathe. And I'm trying to run back to the huddle and call the huddle. And I really couldn't breathe. And I really didn't want to leave because I had those reps, man. You can't get with those reps that easily. So I just remember that because I was trying to breathe and keep going, and it was just crazy.
How cool was that when you were with the Bengals in camp?
It wasn't too bad, man. I enjoyed my time with them, man. I like them. There was a nice group of guys, like I said, that I was down there with. I think the only person still down there now that was part of my little. Well, I was a free agent. I came in as a free agent, but Pat Sims, I believe he's the only one still down there from that 2008 class.
Yeah, he came back. He's a big dude too.
Yep.
He's a big man. Okay, now you played for D'Antonio at UC. Now I know football changes and football evolves, but do you see any similarities with what he's doing up at Michigan State with what he did down here at UC?
Oh yeah, it's the same thing. I know his type of style of play. He likes to run the ball. That's what he does, and he likes to play defense and blitz the ball. And that's what they try to do this year. I think just him and Pat Narduzzi worked real good as a team. Yeah. And they had a lot of success together. And Pat Narduzzi's doing a great job at Pittsburgh. I wish him the greatest success that he can get, and D'Antonio's doing a good job too. Like I say, I guess he's just getting used to life after Narduzzi. They've been together for so long, and D'Antonio's a great mind too. He's the teacher, I guess it's just different when you lose one of your top guys like that,
Yeah. Yeah, and from a UC fan, it's good to see, obviously, both of them having success where they are. Pat's doing a great job, and obviously, D'Antonio's had great success up at Michigan State, and of course, being from Cincinnati, we all want to say, hey, what if he had stayed? But, that wasn't going to happen. That was his dream job up there. So, and then I had one more question. I wanted to talk to you about the current coaching situation that you see with, the chance that Tuberville is probably going to be done after this season. I think it's pretty much assumed. What kind of coach, or is there anybody that you can think of right off the bat that you might want to see come down and coach at UC?
don't really have nothing bad. I would just hope that we would get someone that is really for the university and the community and what they're all about, and really just wants to see that school thrive and thrive for a long time. Someone that just dedicated to the program. But I just wouldn't mind. Even if we couldn't get a good head coach, maybe go after a top offensive coordinator that's out there. There's a couple of those out there. I don't really want to endorse anybody. But,
I hear you.
But I mean, there's a couple people out there. I just hope they get the right person for the job. You know.
Yeah, there seems to be a groundswell of support for at least over here on the west side of town, getting Kerry Combs back. Have him come back down from Ohio State.
Too, and see if he can, yeah. Especially if they get it done this year, that could possibly something that's one of his goals to come back here. I think that would definitely be nice. I didn't really give that too much thought, but yeah. I know they talked about him several times. I don't know if he's ever tried in the past to get a couple of those jobs or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But hopefully something changes.
Well, and he could really recruit Cincinnati really well. Was with Tuberville taking a lot of heat in the past couple of weeks. I was really surprised to read an article that said only like 7% of the team is from the greater Cincinnati area, or from Southwest Ohio. And I mean, you played. There's great football here, in the entire Southwest region, and I think maybe being able to recruit the home area may be something good for the next coach.
Right, I think just Ohio, period, because I'm from northeastern Ohio. I know we had a couple come from up there. That played. It's a lot of talent in Ohio, period. I think Ohio is one of the best football states. So there's no reason why we can't get some of the good athletes from Ohio.
Exactly. Yeah, you went to Warren Harding, right? Warren G.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the problem. I had the presidents backwards. I was thinking Taft was up there, and I was thinking Warren G was down here. So that's why I was like,
no,
just right down
they're
the road.
They're both up there.
There's a Taft up there as well.
Yep, and William McKinley, I believe, too. Co-president.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, because we have one right over by UC, Taft, so that's why I remember it was a president. Yep. So it happened.
Yeah, isn't that where Adolphus Washington went?
No, I think he's from Columbus.
Is he?
From
Okay.
Columbus or something? Yeah. The guy for the Bills, right?
Yeah, played at Ohio State, plays for the Bills. I knew he was from Ohio somewhere.
No. He is from Cincinnati. I got that confused. He is from Cincinnati. He went to Ohio State. That's what it is.
Yeah. Right. He was here last week, beating up on the Bengals a little bit. So.
Yep.
So, James, you got any more questions? I'm tapped out right now.
So, what's your predictions for this week's game, Anthony?
I'm just say go blue, man.
Oh, you're talking about the Ohio State-Michigan game, huh?
And that's what he was talking about. That's what I was talking
about.
Yeah,
there you go. All right. I heard go blue. I kind of cringed a little bit, but that's all right.
Right, and beat the Gators, too.
Definitely. So, do you do any coaching or anything like that with football anymore, or just?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you do any coaching or anything like that with football? Work any camps, anything like that, or you kind of step back from the game a little bit?
Unfortunately, I have kind of taken a little back seat to the game. But I mean, I've tried to, reach out and do some coaching, but really, my schedule really doesn't work out to be the way I can contribute my time to and focus on. Because I mean, you just can't be part-time coaching because those kids deserve a lot better out there. So I really that was really my main thing is I really couldn't find the time to give the dedication that I wanted to. From the coaching aspect of it. But, I mean, I do little camps on the side, like I go back and do Mario Manningham's camp when I can.
Oh, cool.
Another one I haven't done in a while, but Nick Frankos' camp back in my hometown. Those are just some camps that I've done in the past. So I still try to give back when I can.
It's always a good thing. And then
yeah, very good.
Shoot, what's the big plans for tomorrow? Are you going to the family? Is the family coming to you? That kind of thing. With
a little bit of both.
Have you? Are you a UC basketball fan, or do you just are more into football?
No, I catch a couple games when I can. I haven't been to any games in a while, but I know I watch them on TV though all the time. Whenever they have a game on TV, I'll try to check it out. I don't really know the players all like that, like when I went there, but I watch them though on TV whenever I can.
Sounds good. Well, we're glad to have you on our show. Glad things worked out, scheduling and all. Yeah, it happened.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on as a guest. I really appreciate that.
It was our pleasure, and we definitely will follow up with you, over the next years, and have you back again on the show. It was a lot of fun, and always like to hear what the former Bearcats have been up to.
Thank you, and like I said, I appreciate being on the show, and just anytime, just let me know.
Excellent. Welcome back to the Growing Truth UC Bearcats on the Prowl on the Growing Truth Radio Network. As always, James Ernest, along with Mark Fightmaster. We want to thank our guest, Anthony Hoke. He was excellent. Mark, I figure we switch over to basketball. So what's your thoughts on the team?
Well, James, before we came on the air, we were talking about the game this past weekend against Rhode Island, where UC lost. Tough loss. They got out hustled in the end, and it was that's kind of eye opening for UC fans to see a team basically out UC. But I think they bounced back well. They laid it on Penn State pretty good on Sunday, and then tonight they had a tough game against Samford, which I'll talk about in a minute. Would like to have seen them play Duke. You and I both agreed on that, just to be kind of a measuring stick, but it wasn't in the cards. So I think Mick did a good job of rallying the troops and letting them know, you guys let up a little bit, because they were up on Rhode Island in the first half, and tracking the game, they just let up, and then they got out hustled. So definitely did not look that way on Sunday when they played Penn State. They got up on them and stayed up and played typical UC basketball, smothering defense, good rebounding, and then this year, something that is a very welcome development for me is the outside shooting. With Jacob Evans and Kevin Johnson and Troy Copain, those guys, and Justin Jennifer, they can hit that three, and they're hitting it well this year. So that's the wrap from the weekend. Tonight they played Samford, and like you and I were talking, I was checking in on it, watching it because it was on ESPN3, so I was watching it on the computer. UC was up 17-9. I had a couple things I had to do. I stepped away. Next thing you know, Samford goes on a 24-0 run, and that doesn't happen to UC, especially here at UC. But they were able to get back in it, down 5 at halftime, and ended up winning 70-55. So it was a good, very good effort by the team, and I think the one player I want to talk about quickly before I wrap it is Kyle Washington. This kid, and my brother and I talk about this, my dad and I talk about this, he seems to be the real deal. Big kid inside, lots of rebounds, lots of points, but he passes the ball really well for a big man, which is something we haven't had in the past. So he's playing well. Right now the Cats are playing well, so hopefully they'll keep it up.
Yeah, they're kind of known for the undersized center, like a 6'8", 6'6" center. That everyone else is a 7-footer, and they're still going head to head with them. And even as far back as their game against Purdue in the tournament 2 years ago.
Right. And Kyle may not be as big as some, but and I know it's a cliche, he plays bigger. He's got real good touch from the free throw line in, and he has no problem going to the rim, which I love seeing. You know, at times to me, Gary Clark can be a little rim shy, I like to say, like he doesn't want to attack as much. But with Kyle in there and the way that Kyle can pass, they do a real good job back and forth setting each other up, and it's kind of so with Kyle bringing out and Gary Clark as well.
Excellent. So I was going to say, sticking with the theme of cliches, so you would say Sanford kind of punched him in the mouth, and UC was able to take it?
Yeah, UC responded. I'll tell you what, Sanford had minutes where everything they threw up was going in. A ball from the court, the general direction of the basket, and it would have gone in the way they were shooting. But in the end, I got the stats here. UC held them in the second half. Sanford shot 6 for 29 from the field. That's 21%. So UC clamped down on them, and some of the shots that were open for Sanford those were not open in the second half. But you're right, they definitely got popped in the mouth. But they fought back, and they proved that they could take it.
Sounds great. Well, fans, as always, we're glad you listened in to the Bearcats on the Prowl, part of the Growing Truth Network. As always, James Ernest and Mark Fightmaster signing off, and we look forward to next week where we are going to have, who's our guest next week, Mark?
Toughest Bearcats in recent basketball history. I'm looking forward to that interview.
Yep, Eric Hicks. That is going to be awesome. So, folks, tune in for that, and you all have a great Thanksgiving.